Maybe not. Still starting, still starting. We should be live now. All right. Welcome, everybody. A little bit outside of the schedule, primarily because I've been fighting with some equipment for the past couple minutes. Oh, there's one thing that I still need to change. I just remembered. For this one, so that this lights up correctly, I need to get the right input, because now it's a secondary mic that is picking up my voice as well, which is not really what we want, because the moment that I move it away a little bit, that might change. Where are you? I guess I could use that one. No, I'm going to use the... Are you correct? You look correct. At least you're picking stuff up, so that's good. Oh, that's a standard device. That's okay. Yeah, that's how that works. Okay, so this should be working now. Even when I scoot over in a moment. Right. So today, actually, we don't need this one anymore. So, a couple of things we need today. Let's have a look. Alrighty. So, this one has dried up really well. This one is good, so we can today continue to work on this. I want to file this down today, file the sides down today, and get the holes punched, and ideally I want to finish this up, to be entirely honest, so getting this done, treating the sides, and I believe that's all that we need to do still. Now, cutting down the 3 layers would be very difficult with just one pair of scissors, but we only have to cut down 1 layer here a little bit. Well, actually, I think we're probably better off filing this down. Let's see how this goes. Because now we have the final step of cutting this down to size. Now, about this project, there will be people with more leatherworking experience that will tell you that I made quite a few mistakes. I don't think that's too much of a surprise. Shocking, I know, yes. There are already a couple of things that I can see that I could have done differently. There are a couple of things that I think wouldn't have changed the outcome, really. One of the things that I definitely could have done is to... I'm going to try the other pair of scissors, actually. The one thing that I could have done is to make the middle strip out of boiled leather to make the entire thing more stable. That certainly would have been interesting to see what that would do. Would that have definitely helped? Not sure about that. But it is something interesting to try. And it is something that I haven't considered beforehand, because I didn't think of that. That's pretty much it, really. Just realized that it's easier to cut on the lower end of this than the upper end. Yeah, so if I want to cut this down, I need to go here. This can be filed down, this can be filed down, this can be filed down. This I'm going to cut down a little bit before I file this down. I didn't put quite enough glue in the tip on all sides to make this work properly, which is why I cut this down a little bit. Alright, yeah, I think the rest needs to be filed down, to be entirely honest. I wish I could get in here a little bit better, but yeah, that's quite alright. Alright, this one is loose, so I want to cut this off. If I can manage that. And this one I definitely want to cut off. And I've already seen, I'm going to show you as well, that if I put the knife in the way it's supposed to go in, I'll talk about that in a moment. So first of all, that's the way it goes in. I already tried to put that in the wrong way, so that's brilliant. This actually looks fairly decent, right up to the point that you realize this here, that's not quite where it should be. There should be a little bit more, slightly, just slightly too much. So that's what we're gonna fix as well. We're gonna go a little bit in there. I will look into getting a different knife for this kind of precision work, because scissors are not meant for this. Like, you can't really cut into this the way I want to. Although this seems to have worked fairly well, to be entirely honest. But yeah, I know, struggle with this part. That is not what you want to see. Alright. Is that good enough? That's good enough for me. Let's see how this is now. That's a lot better. Still could be a little bit more. Still could be a little bit more, and I kind of want to pay attention to this side as well. No, I'm not quite keeping that in frame as I should. Alright, that's better. There we go. Yeah, the point of this is basically just to have something to put the blade on and then slide that in. That's actually pretty nice. It's not perfect. You can see that it isn't quite perfect. But again, this will stretch. Alright. Yeah, let's file this down now. I've done a fairly decent, not exactly rough cut, but a medium rough cut around the entire thing. Now all I need to do is to file down the areas, including this part. Where I don't want the material to be. Now, we will lose a little bit of coloring on the edge here. That is not the end of the world. There's something that we will apply by the end of this that will change the coloring there anyway, so we don't have to worry about that. If you want this to be extremely clean, like an extremely clean side, you probably don't want to use a file. But I did use it on the very first project that I did, and it was fine as well, so I suspect that it will be fine here as well. We just want to make sure that this is kind of, that you don't have a dip in the middle like here. Like that these ones don't stand out too much. This is actually starting to look really nice. All right, I like it. Yeah, be careful that you're not filing away your fingernails. That is very much something that you might do if you're not careful. One thing that I've realized when I put in the knife the first time, the wrong way, obviously, because why would I get it right the first try, was that the reason why that doesn't happen on the other one is, on the other one, I have a what do you call that? What do you call that, actually? A rivet. A rivet or a dud? No, a rivet. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a rivet in the bottom to reinforce the side where the blade goes past very often. So to reinforce that bit so that it doesn't get pushed apart. It won't, let's be reasonable. I did put that in primarily for visual effect. And it works really well for that, to be entirely honest. So well that I forgot that that's why it's there, but it's always an indicator which side is down, which on this one, I immediately got wrong the first try. So if you want to design these, make sure that that it's quite easy to tell which side is which. Of course, if it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, but for most kitchen knives, it will. Like hunting knives, less so, but kitchen knives, they tend to be asymmetrical, so it will matter for them. And there are all shapes and sizes, so in this case, like there would be a similar blade with the edge down here and the grip up here would exist. So yes, it is possible to just put it in the wrong way if you don't pay attention. To avoid that, it's a good idea to help yourself with that. I actually did a little bit of a oopsie there. Well, that's fine. That is fine. We can hopefully eliminate that. I'll pay attention for a moment, and immediately I made a little mistake here. With a little bit of work, that one actually becomes invisible pretty much. All right. So, ow, that was again my fingernail. Yeah, like these files are very aggressive. They're not particularly hard, but they are quite rough. So if you do go anywhere near your fingernail with this one, it will grind that away as well. No problem. All right, and with that we have pretty much smoothed all of this out. At least enough for me to go up to the next stage. That was not what I wanted to do. Good grief. All right, I have laid out a second plate. This one is a little bit thicker than the one that I have here. It's also from a slightly different material, but only slightly different. And I'm going to put down the rest of my leather that I used for this. The reason why is these guys. This is what we are going to use for punching the holes in this. I forgot that I should probably zoom in a little bit. There we go. This way you can actually see what I'm doing. I always wonder whether this is too dark, to be entirely honest. Not quite sure whether I should try to artificially lighten this up. Should probably have a look at this afterwards to check what this looks like on stream. And maybe make some adjustments. I could probably have a look at doing this right now. Let's see, let's exit. Actually, let's go into the IRL mode. Let's take this one. Let's add a filter. There you are. Add a filter. Is this an effect filter? Color key, composition blur, far corrector. No, I don't want to chroma key it. Move transition, move video capture device, move value. There's a bunch of stuff in here. Okay, what does glow do? No, is what it does. It's not something that I'm looking for. Consider color key, chroma key, color key? No, that's just color keying. I might have to adjust it in the camera. Audio, that all looks like audio. Yeah, that all looks like audio. That is all audio, pretty much. Okay, I'm gonna have to either check that in here. Okay, I can make it lighter, but then that would also require me to play around with other stuff. I'm not gonna... I probably should get some more lights. that will also solve it. It's like, this looks way darker than it actually should be, I think. For some reason, this is quite dark compared to like that. And I don't know why. Maybe I do need more light. Huh. Okay, so I'm gonna probably look into getting more lights until next time. Alright, let's continue like this in the meantime. Don't want to play around with the video configuration too much. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I'm still new to this, so I'm still figuring out stuff. Sorry about that. That's just how it is. Are we actually online everywhere? That would be nice to know. We are online here. We are online here. Okay, that's good. Good. Yeah, so what we're going to do now is we're going to actually punch holes into this. So we want to get to the middle of this, but we know that we don't know the size or thickness of the inlay everywhere. You can feel it if you go through this, and you can see it once you do, which is an option to figure that one out. The alternative is to just stay a little bit closer to the edge, to the outside. But yeah, that's what we're going to do now. So kind of like this-ish. This will be quite noisy, so be warned. I'm going to try the small one first. It is quite noisy. This is very, very, very noisy compared to what I was expecting. I think I'm going to do this off stream, to be entirely honest. I think I will. All right. Yeah. Or I'm going to put down the... I'm going to pull down the... can I make you push and talk, actually? It would be quite difficult. But yeah. Okay, this is way too noisy. Even if I do this the other way around, I don't think that's gonna... Well, because this would go into the material, which is not what I want to do. That's why I have this stuff below there. But yeah, essentially, you go around, you have different sizes to be... Because you don't want to use like a 5-prong here. You're going to use like a 2-prong maybe to get around this. You maybe could be able to use a 4-prong, would be stretching it now. I probably would use a 2-prong to keep this around and adjust it, and then up here I would go back to the 5-prong and 4-prong. But yeah, I don't think streaming this is a good idea. Everybody will hear death from that, so unfortunately, this would be it for today if we didn't have something else to do, and we can do this first. So that's applying the side. It doesn't really matter whether we do this now or do this later, because the only two things that we have left is do the sides and do the string. So we can do this as well. So that's what we're going to continue with. This stuff is perfectly fine for leather, which means it's perfectly fine for your hands. You don't have to have gloves on or anything. Of course, it's always better to have gloves on if you are unsure about this. I am quite certain that I have no problem with this. It is a chemical, like everything else. So, like a skin cream, you would be testing this. I already have, so I have no trouble with this. Application beyond that is actually quite simple. Dip your finger in it and apply it. And once you have applied a certain amount, doesn't matter whether you get it a little bit on the side, that is fine. And we're going to do this side by side, so you can already see that this grows darker whenever I touch this, which is perfectly fine. And then all you do is take this to just rub it in. You can see that the middle here is a little bit inset into the piece. But again, this is fine. And just turn it as I go along here. And turn this, I mean. This is essentially massaging in the chemical, allowing it to seal the side of this. And by the end of this, you let it dry. It should be good. Now the second one, as you can see here, would actually be too small for the triple layers. For 2 layers, that would be ideal. But since we're applying it on 3 layers, even on thicker layers, you probably wouldn't do like triple layers like this. You might have to use something else. Apply that a little bit more, so I can see some dry patches. And yeah, basically what you're doing is you're massaging this in. Admittedly, this is probably not a dry patch, this is probably just the side where the lighter stuff, where the outside material was on, so. Now there are some of these oils of burnishing gums that are colored. There are some other things that are similar to burnishing gums that do directly apply a color. I went with a colorless one because I didn't know which material I would be using, so I also prefer to have the, I don't want to say the original because it does look quite different compared to like this side. That will not just stay like this, it will go a little bit darker once it's drying out. So yeah, this is basically just what I'm going to do for the next couple of minutes. Other mistakes that I made, or well, things to improve in the future that I want to talk about. One thing that I've already mentioned, so a lot of people will look at this this initial stream and will tell you that, well, quite a few will probably tell you that I made quite a few mistakes. No surprises there. That was not only the intent, but also expected. And I don't mean the intent as in, oh yeah, I made mistakes intentionally. No, the intent was to show the mistakes that I am making, very much making naturally. This stuff is not scripted. Stuff like the last time that I did this, which was like 2 years ago by now, I did buy way too much glue. Yes, I was expecting to make more of these over time, but I didn't have any concrete projects at the time, so I didn't have 10 other leather sheaths to make, and even if I had, that would have still been way too much glue, like way too much glue. It's an industrial amount of glue. Not a big industrial amount of glue, but it is a kind of small industrial amount of glue, so that I got, and so that's way too much. Just get a little tube, it's fine. You don't need any more. The rest of it, what else was there that you probably should consider? Yeah, improvements for the future. There's a ton of stuff, which is why I chose this type of project in the first place to demonstrate leatherworking on. There's a ton of stuff that you can improve on this kind of project. Number one, and I don't know whether that will improve it, but that's something that I want to try. I want to use the inlay, I'm going to call that the inlay from now on. So the strip where the blade will touch on, as well as the other side, the spine, making that out of boiled leather instead of untreated leather, or well, this is treated leather as well, but unboiled leather, like soft leather. It would be interesting because boiled leather generally has the property of being a lot tougher and a lot more stable. So it almost becomes like wood. Maybe not quite as sturdy, but very similar to wood. So that would give this a lot less flexibility. It would be more rigid. Rigidity was the term that I was looking for. And yeah, that is something to look into to make this, well, more rigid. Something else to look into would be decorations on this. This is something that we're going to talk about more once this is finished. One of the things that would be quite interesting, this leather is not meant for that, so I won't try this on this. I want to try the decorations on this. Would be like well, I don't know what's actually called, stamping in some decorative patterns. It's not technically an inlay because you don't have to lay anything in. You can, but you don't have to. And yeah, that's certainly something that can be done. Even you could, in theory, do it on this, but the leather is so thin that you're more likely to actually damage something. You might just punch or cut through it. Punching would probably work, but some of the decorations require like manual cutting, and that would probably not. This leather is definitely too thin for that. So yeah, I'm now burnishing this side. I could be using this, and you would see like I could be using the second one of these two layers, but because I have the third layer over here, it's a little bit finicky and fiddly, and because it's a complex shape, and over here I only have one, it's actually easier to do just with my index finger. You can see that because I used the scissors here, I actually cut into the material a little bit. Not too happy about that. Again, I'm going to look into a different cutting tool. There are quite a few available. But yeah, that's it. I'll probably apply a second coating once this is dry. A second burnishing, and I will do the hole punching off stream because yeah, that's way too loud to actually do on camera. So next stream, and yeah, this was unfortunately quite short. I wish I could have. I did suspect that I might not be able to do this on stream. I didn't expect it to be this loud, to be entirely honest. So this is definitely something that we will have to do off stream next time. I could probably record it and then just turn down the volume once I actually start working. That being said, do we actually have any viewers? I don't think so. So I guess I could do this. Yeah, I have exactly 0 viewers right now, so we should be fine. All right, let's see. Let's try to make this actually a little bit straighter this time. I'm gonna have to angle this over there. Yeah, this goes very close. Okay, so I should be using the other side for this. I should be using this side because we are getting very close to the edge here. But we have gone through, so let's pull this out. Okay. So now what we need to actually make this stuff usable, actually need to widen these. So that's what this thing is for. And then you just pull the thread through there and you're fine. Now, there are options to kind of cut out the Actually, did I do that last time? I don't think so. Let me check that real quick. I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so on the last one I didn't do this. What are you? Connection animated. Oh, okay. Uh-huh. So that might even play a sound. Alright. Huh. Oh, that's the alert. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, let's leave that on. I don't know what noise it actually does make. Alright, last time I didn't do this. I'm not quite sure that I want to do it this time. So there's a cutting tool. Well, I mean, cleaning up the edge is probably what I do want to do, but there should be a cutting tool to actually allow me to cut into this itself. Yeah, alright, yeah, I do remember. I tried this, it didn't really work. Neither the edge cutter, well, the edge cutter was kind of okay. So, this one basically goes along the edge and kind of cleans up the edge. We did that with the file already. You can go over this again. I've already applied my my gum, so I'm not going to do that again because then I have to reapply it completely. But what this also supplies is one head that kind of cuts a groove into this. And I've tried that. And I don't know whether they're not meant for this type of leather. I do believe that they aren't, to be entirely honest. But yeah, they did not work at all. I've got two of these tools, because I thought the first one was made a little bit cheaply, so maybe the head wasn't quite where it was supposed to be. But yeah, these guys didn't work at all. The leather is too soft for this. You kind of need more natural leather. This is already surface treated. So these guys absolutely fail on that. I don't blame the tool at this stage. I blame the material. This isn't meant for that kind of treatment, so I might be wrong. Would love to know whether I'm wrong. But yeah, can't really use that. So this guy is quite difficult to work with on this, so I'm not going to continue using them. I'm going to use this one instead. I kind of want to be a little bit more careful here. We go a little bit towards the inside. We are done. And we are through. This went a lot easier. And yeah, we now have some dents in there. So yeah, get some material under there that you don't mind losing. This is meant for that, so don't really care. This is well and truly stuck now. Ow. It's perfectly fine. Okay. We are through. But just is all I need. We're getting very close to the edge here. Okay, next time I need to get a wider outside rim if I want to do it like this. Let's put you down here. Strange. Apparently you need to also be quite careful how you align this, like shifting it a little bit to the left or right, an angle, makes quite a bit of a difference when it comes out on the other side. Oh, we're still good. These are all fine. We're getting to the point where I might want to switch up to the smaller one, but we're still all right, I think. I think this might be the last one that I can do with this before I end up in the upper part. Maybe not, we'll have to see. We might have just hit it quite right. You're not seeing anything, I just realized. Yeah, that's what I wanted to avoid. So we got too close to the edge here. That is not good. Why though? That should not have been the case. Okay. Thanks for that. Right. We're going to have to adjust this a little bit. I didn't expect this to curve quite as badly. So we're going to do it like this. We're going to rehammer this. This needs a lot less power in there. All right. Well, we'll live with the problem of that. Yeah, definitely something to pay attention to when you guys do it. That you don't get this close to the edge. Because this might now rip the... It has already ripped. All right. That's not good. Well, yeah, because we have material here, so we can go further inside. We can't go too far, though. That's probably the weakest part of this. So, yeah, I think I did cut off a little bit more than I wanted to. You can see, if you look at it like this, that... I don't know how good you can see this. Here you can't see the other part, here you can't see the edge, here you can see the edge a little bit. It's not quite straight, this bit here. If you look at it like so, you might be able to see that this is not quite straight. Like you can see the inclination right there. And that's what's causing this. So I should have gone further to the inside on that end. Well, nothing to be done there. Once the hole is in there, the hole is in there. And this is way too thin, to be entirely honest. A bit of material here, but not a lot. Yeah. So yeah, you really want to err on the side of caution in these situations. You can see the difference here, like where this hole is and where that hole is. This is the place where it should be. On the other side, that's barely inside where it needs to be. Like right there. That's a huge difference. How can I make you see that actually more accurately? Like on here, we have way more space on that end than on that end. That's just because this is so badly aligned, this edge. Yeah, I didn't pay attention there. Well, that's how things go sometimes. Oh, this is very, very close. But yeah, that's... Well, there's no point in not doing it like this. Well, it's one of the reasons why we're doing this for ourselves first. because I wouldn't be able to sell this if I wanted to. Like, this is not something, well, I wouldn't even give this to anyone, to be entirely honest. Like, with this amount of stupid that I did here, I would not be able to give this to anyone. Yeah. So, for next time, leave way more space for this, for the spacers. Also, this one isn't glued properly. I just realized this is one of the parts where we didn't get enough glue in, so I might have to re-glue this a little bit. Huh. This here. That's not good. I'm gonna have to re-glue this before anything else happens. And probably same over here, yeah. Same here. This doesn't have enough glue in. So, yeah. Once I've adjusted that, I've got to re-burnish that. Quite a few of these spaces actually, where I didn't go far enough to the outside. Well, I think once I've got the thread in, that will probably help, but still, it's not really what I want to see. Well, that's why we do this, to learn. Should be good. That is good. I definitely have to go on. The underside is better, it's more equal, but the upper side is very much skewed towards, well, actually not the upper side, just this front side, just this front bit. This would have to be cut down if I were to redo this again. All right. Well, good thing I'm not planning on redoing this. Well, looking good. From here on out, we should be able to use the triple again. The quadruple. The quadruple is easier to use if you have more space, or if it's, fairly straight. This is just straight enough, I think. Come on. There we go. Yeah. On this end, we do have enough material. This is the one that I did keep wider anyway, because this is where the blade goes. Still, it's pretty annoying that I didn't pay enough attention to that. So, yeah, don't do that. Don't do this, kids. Stay in school. I wonder where my triple is, because I'm pretty sure I had a triple. The quadruple is a little bit too difficult to actually punch into this. I think I used the triple last time. Okay. getting very close to the edge again. Might have to take a little bit of a step back from there. Pun not intended, if there was one. All right. Anyway, this is much straighter than the rest, and it's a lot easier to work on as a result, because I've got a pretty decent idea of where I'm going. Okay. Now there are alternative tools. Where you have a marker that basically, normally how this would go on different types of leather. You would take a marker and kind of mark the outside of this with one continuous line. You get a constant distance from these, from the side. And then there's a second tool that you can do which would mark you, which would give you a little indent every time where you should punch a hole. And then you take a single hole puncher, and that goes a lot easier than this. As you've seen with the double hole puncher, the double hole puncher goes through this very, very easily. A lot less resistance, a lot easier to use, a lot less drama, a lot less noise. This is not bad. This is definitely not bad. Back here we're going to have to be careful that we don't overshoot. I now cannot take another quadruple, I don't think. Well, I mean, technically I could do it like this. That would probably work. Actually, it might not. Hang on. Because if I do this, that is very close to the edge. Ooh, yeah, no, that's a no. Not even two, just one. Just this one. This is already getting very close to the edge here. Yeah, I think this might actually not be inside there anymore. If I'm not careful how I punch this through, this might just slip. Oh, yeah, this is way too thin. Okay. Oh, that's a bit of a bummer. So yeah, I wasn't careful enough down here with how much material I have left, so I don't think I actually can punch a hole there the way that I want to. I'm gonna have to go closer to the edge, which I don't want to do, but I do need some more stability in here. Can I do this from the other side? Like, this looks fine. It's also quite close to the edge. No, there should be enough material here. Why do you slip this in this weird way? I think it's the way that this material behaves that is a little bit odd on the other side. I'm going to use this side. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I should not be able to see anything. I'm not able to see anything. That's perfectly as it should be. Can I get another one? Should I get another one? Because this now cuts in quite a bit at this point. So even if I want to go there, like, this is very close. I kind of do want to go there, to be entirely honest. Quite sure I want to keep up the angle though. Kind of have to. Let's see where we turn out. Probably not where I was hoping to turn this out. To be entirely honest, yeah, this curve to the outside, this is not good. The way that this material behaved wasn't quite stable. So, as you can see, this hole is still where it was supposed to do, despite me doing this. That's because this slipped as a result of where I applied the force. So yeah, this type of material, not that easy to work with, but doable. If you pay attention every step of the way, you can even do some stuff that you probably should be more careful about, but yeah, that's the one that I will regret, but it is as it is. Alright, next step, getting this stuff through here. That will be quite fun. Length of material is quite interesting, because on this one, the distance between two of these holes is quite small. Now, if you measure the string and just lay it down once and say, well, and it depends on how you want to apply the string, to be entirely honest. But if you lay it down and you just go, well, I'm gonna put this like double string through this. I'm not going to do double string, I don't think. I'm going to do single string on this one. If I'm going to do double strings, I'm going to need 100% on this side, 100% on that side, and that's good. This distance is the smallest issue. That distance is actually larger than this one. So if you do it and you just go 100%, 200% should be enough. Like, that's what I take for the length. You will not have enough. 300%, you will not have enough. You need way more, way more. So be aware of that when you're cutting off the string. Now, if you don't want to cut off the string, you will run into a lot of issues in this case, because if you want to do this double-sided, where do you start? Where do you finish? This is not an easy choice to make. Now, what I did on the other one last time is I started at one end, pulled it through halfway, like I had cut it off, put it through halfway, and then went like crossover the entire way. And I ended up like about here on that blade. It was not enough. So use more, like just use more. The string is like, it's not the cheapest one, but it's not that expensive. So just use a little bit more, make sure that you have enough to go all the way, because trying to mend that afterwards, if you're entirely fair, you'd have to redo the entire thing, use more string, you'll just use more material than you initially would have used if you just did the overhead. Or it looks like, you know, a little bit shit. Which is fine. I mean, that is what we're here for after all. But if you want this to look professional in any capacity, you kind of want to make sure that you do have enough string, that you do have enough material. As we've seen here, I haven't left enough material at one point. Like, this is fairly thin. Well, it's not that thin, but it could be thicker. I missed it in this case, so I wasn't quite accurate with this, didn't double check all my work, and that kind of bit me in the behind afterwards. So always double and triple check. Now the question remains, what are we going to do with this? Are we going to do a single thread through here, or are we going to use double threads? Now for double threads, there are a couple of options. One is you push it through, pull the other one through the loop, and then pull it back in, and you will get kind of a pattern on both sides that will really hold this together nicely. But if one of them fails, all of them will fail. But that will be true for pretty much the entire thing. So in so far, that doesn't really matter, to be entirely honest. I'm not sure. I kind of like the way that I did this last time. The only thing that I would change would be use more string. This is one of the, it's not the primary function that holds this together, but it is actually functional, and I kind of like that. So this is where I need to be a little bit more careful, because we are approaching the one, this one, which is busted. The one thing that I won't do, another option is to kind of loop this around, which could do. Does that save you one string? No. Does it make it easier to work with? Actually, yes, because you can kind of not cut that off immediately and be fine with that. Why are you not working the way that you should? But I don't know. I don't think it would look very nice. Am I going back? I am going back out, aren't I? Yeah, I am going back. This one did not go through where I expected to go through. All right, there we go. Should be one before this. Yeah, there it is. All right. Now, this might seem like busy work, which it is to some extent, but it's very important busy work, because I'm making sure that all these holes have actually gone through properly, and I'm widening them from both sides to make sure that not only I can find them again, but that I can get the needles in quite easily. And this one has not, no, it has gone through. Okay, just slightly, aligned slightly differently than I expected. All right. There should be another one. There is another one. Yeah, this part is important for the next step. It doesn't seem like it, but it is. So I will go through this completely. There you are. Okay. Oh. I will need a clamp to clamp the, I don't even know what it's called, the wooden holding thing down. That will be quite interesting, because I don't have a clamp right now available. I have one somewhere. Can't quite remember where I put that. We're getting to the edge and I can feel it because the material is getting way softer. Alright. That looks fine from the other side, except for this one. Right, the rest I should be able to find again. Yeah, as you can see, the pattern isn't quite as nice as it could be. Again, this was a mistake on my part. This should look this way, but then this isn't quite straight, which is what caused this. So that's something to pay attention to in the future. Right. I'd love to put that into there, but I don't think I can, and I don't think I will. What do I need then? I need the needle. So, to demonstrate what the next step is, basically you cut this thing to length, again, leave a generous amount. You push that through here, and then, well, you push it through this one first, and then one side you put in here, and you go through. This becomes a loop on the other side, if you can hit it correctly. There we go. It's actually a lot thicker than I remember. And then you go back, you put that into a loop, you push the other side through with one of the needles, and you pull this into the middle so that you don't see where they interlatch. So that will be the next step. Alright, cutting this to length. 1, 2, 3. One, two, 3, 4. I don't care, let's do another one. Okay, that should be. Let's hope that that is enough. It's not 2 times, it's not 4 times, this is 5 times the circumference of this. This should be okay. We are now getting one of the needles. We're going to use one of the hook needles because that is, I know it's called the curved mattress needle. I do not care because we only use this as a hook and it's easier to use for what we are planning to doing with it. So that's the one that we are going to use. However, for the beginning, we're going to start, I think we're going to start up here. All right. So I'm going to pull this through until we are at the same distance. So at the halfway point, I'm going to pull that straight. We're good. And one of these we're going to select at random, essentially. We're going to check which one is easier to actually put through the hooked needle. So I get the impression that this one is the easier one. So that's the one that we're going to pull through here. Because this one has an eye that is a lot bigger, so it doesn't matter whether this is slightly frazzled in the front. All right, so now we're going to go through here. Push this through. Lay a hook. Push this through. Now pull that all the way. Pull this back. And now we're going to pull this all the way as well. I just realized that this is on the wrong side of that. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. I have forgotten something. All right. Let's pull you out again. Okay. So, quite important to remember. This one kind of needs to be on the correct side of this. How can I guarantee this the easiest way? I do not know, to be entirely honest. That's the one that, it's the other way around, isn't it? Yeah. That's the way to guarantee it. Alright, so this one has a groove on one side, and if I'm correct, this is the way to go about it. To actually ensure that we're getting the right one. So this slots into the groove, if it wants to stay there. Now we're going to push that through. The one that will curve will be this one. The other one is in the groove, so it won't curve. I also can hold that now, if I wanted to. And yeah, the other one curves. That's the way to go. So hook that through. Don't hook yourself on yourself. Probably a straight needle would work on this. Doesn't really matter. Okay, we're just going to pull this through now. And where are you? What's going on? Come on. What are you doing? Oh, I pulled on the wrong one. Great. It doesn't really matter that this is now reversed, to be entirely honest. That will rearrange itself in the hole anyway, so now we're gonna pull that in here. And we want to pull this like fairly tensely. And you want to make sure that you can't really see this. Like right now you can see both of them on this side. We're going to pull that in here. so that it's basically become invisible. Yoink. There we go. And now you can't see it on either side. That was too far. That's in the middle. And we should be good. And we're going to the next one. Now we do this for every single one of these. It shouldn't matter which one I do, but I will keep this on the upside now, just to check how well that goes. It should turn out there somewhere. Come on. Am I mistaken? No, you should be there. Yeah. Did I not widen you enough? Should be wide enough. Why do you have to be like this? Why? And that's the one thing that I'm continuing to struggle with. Why? God damn it. Let's revert you again. Let's disentangle you. I have not found a good way to not entangle this. Let's put you away. Let's put you guys away so that I have a little bit of space here. Alright. Good grief. Why did you go there? You shouldn't be around here either. Alright, let's pull this one back. And we can pull this through, pull this straight. Alright. That's the second one done. Unfortunately, this one removed itself. Kind of want to clean this up a little bit, because this is really in the way right now. Okay. This feels a lot more difficult than it should be. There we go. Alright. Pull that back. Nope, that's not enough. Alright, pull that back. That looks better. Push that through. Put it all the way. Pull that back. Push that straight. And pull that in here so that we don't see that anymore, and fix it. It's all right. It's not perfect, but it is all right. I can't see anything here. Why? I did go through all of you beforehand, so why are you not visible? All right. Well, another half hour before I'm going to stop with this. So I'm going to get it all done today, but I will have to reglue parts of this and then apply the second burnishing. All right. This is being a pain in the behind. Kind of like the color. It's slightly off, but it's still nice. So and another one. Okay, that's loads of space left. Okay. Just checking how far I can lean forward to inspect my work. This is actually quite alright. Right. You don't look like you're going through the way that you should be. Trust the process. All right. All right. Well, come on. So what you will see me inspecting every single one of these, and the question is, why I'm inspecting these is the way that I make it. You want the loop that you go through, where these two kind of connect to each other. You don't want this to be visible from either side. To make sure that that is the case, I inspect these every time. Because once you're like 2 or 3 things down, that is no longer fixable. So doing this afterwards is too late. So yeah, always check as you go, verify as you go that it looks the way that you want. Ideally, you verify beforehand, so that you don't do stuff like this. But yeah, that's certainly one of the traps that you might want to fall, that you don't want to fall into. One of the many, many traps. How do I know that? I have done that before. Well, no, I didn't. On the other one, well, I mean, I did. I did not check every single one of them, and I think 1 or 2, you can actually see the what looks to be a knot. It's not. It's no pun intended. It is the like this overlap that you really don't want to see. Not visible, not visible, we're good. But yes, check that after everything. It's a couple seconds to check that, and it can save you a lot of work. Because when I say unfixable, I mean not worth fixing for the effort you have to put in to actually disassemble stuff that you've made in the meantime. It is just not worth it for something that is only for your own use. And yeah, this is primarily practical. Yes, I'd like it to look nice, but so long as it fulfills its function, I am fine with that. If it looks a little bit jank. Again, if it looks too jank, I wouldn't be giving this away to anyone, but for myself, that is fine. All right. I'm slowly getting in the groove of this, so of course in a moment we will have to stop. Thought I might have made a mistake there. I looped it around again. That was not the case. Good. All right. That was close. I almost pulled that too far back. Okay, what are you? Really? All right, let me check this. I'm gonna have to mute myself for a minute. Don't tell me my voice mod was offline the entire time. When did I put that off? When did I turn that off? Dang it. Well, okay. I have to stop for tonight. I wish everybody a nice weekend, and I'll see you next time. Probably tomorrow I will continue this. Although I might just do some gaming stream as well. We shall see. I will do some work offline. I will reglue this stuff, and whether the parts that need regluing. But the rest, we shall see. Until then, bye-bye. As well, we shall see. I will parts that need regluing. Okay.